Okay, here we are. Now it's time to attempt the expression. Now, I'm hoping you guys will each write a little narrative of your own. Oops. I have a feeling I just pulled that into a layer that already existed. Oh no! I hope I got rid of that. Ah! Okay. If you pull something in directly from the Finder, it's going to just drag it into a layer that you already have selected. So let's actually pull this expression onto its own layer. We're also able to do surprising things. Remember the free transform tool to adjust the shape. Well, I guess I'll actually put this photo on the bottom near my other photo. Let's make them both small. We'll be able to observe what changes between the 1 and the 2. Remember, my narrative here is that I witnessed the pizza rat dragging a slice of pizza down the subway stairs. I tried to affect a look of both surprise and maybe a little bit of horror. Ugh. So what I'm going to do here, you can either copy, you can either probably you should save this as a new file before you begin working on it. You have your resting face or your neutral face file that's intact, that isn't ruined yet, but for this one, maybe we're editing it as a new file, Zagir reaction, something like that. And you can just attach this pose to the end of your resting face. So you look around and then the reaction happens. Or if you want to start from just the beginning, you can kind of go in and select all these files back to frame 1 and just say remove frames. And look at that, we have no animation. Maybe we do that. I've removed all the other frames, but I have retained, I still have the tweens associated with the individual layers. So I'm just going to go and insert frames for all my layers. And this time we'll just have it be a second. We can get what we need to get in 1 second, I think. I'm locking my expression layers. Let's make some observations about what is different about the facial pose between the sort of neutral pose and the reaction shot. Now you can actually go through this expression in the mirror, and as you see the stages that the face goes through, getting from point A to point B, this will be the best method of observation, of research, to get some naturalistic movement. Coffee. But of course, you can, if you just want to get from point A to point B, that's okay too. I just play around until it looks some ability to tell what looks right, what doesn't look right. What are some of the things that change? The mouth obviously widens and kind of distends down, and that actually pushes the jowls down to compensate for the face deforming like that. Of course, the mustache kind of widens at the top or shifts a little bit. We don't have a mustache here. I'm not going to go through the motions of doing that. The nostrils expand a little bit. And of course, the whole head turns up in this case, as if, when a character is frightened or something, usually their head turns up as if they're almost trying to get away. They're trying to get the brain away from the situation. The eyeballs are retreating to get the ghastly sight away from the vision, So we're seeing the head a little. We can begin to do that. It would involve kind of moving all of the different features. I'm not going to get into that here, except maybe at the end. For our purposes, if that's too much to handle, actually distorting and moving all the facial features, we'll just work flat and just change things, assuming that the head itself doesn't move. But yeah, so what else? The eyes widen. Maybe we should actually start from less wide eyeballs, right? Let's try that. So our eyeballs here, oh, we haven't turned them into motion tweens. Let's turn them into motion tweens. Yes, and yes. Okay, so our eyeballs, I think, are going to start out. Let's have them end wide. I need to do a loop, but I would like to have them end at this wide, full circle kind of width. But I'll start them off going to frame 1 and using the transform tool at kind of regular eye proportion. How about that? So basically, I'm just looking around. I'm having an okay time. Oh, I did that in the wrong frame. I'm just undoing. Sometimes it's easier to undo. Going back to frame 1, regular eye size and proportion. And then as the reaction happens, interesting. Let's see what happens. Why did that not work for me? Is it working now? Okay, now it's working. Okay. Sometimes things break. That's the wonderful thing about Flash. If it's not doing what you want, remove the tween, create the tween. Usually, I know why I did that, but we're not going to worry about it. So I have my starting position, and the eyes are slowly widening. So you've probably seen in cartoons and that kind of situation, the eyes slowly widening as the reality dawns fully on the character. So maybe what we want to happen first is we want the eyes, the irises to dart down, see the rat, and then the eyes widen. So why don't we start here and remain at the original, about at the original eyeball size. And then after the shock has taken a hold, the eyes widen. Look at that. It's already looking pretty good, I think. I'm going to save this. So let's have the, so here I am in the iris layer. I still have my motion tween there. I'm going to just dart down. And then I'm going to dart this guy down too. I mean, you know, that's not quite as quick as I want. Let's undo a little bit. Let's have the eyes remain, the irises remain in their position. Hold until frame 8 or something. And I've created keyframes here, frame 8, and then they'll very quickly dart down. And if I was in like Looney Tunes, maybe they would jump completely out of off of the eyeball. But in my case, I'm not going to do that. We're not quite in that world. We're merely pushing the envelope on reality, but not. Okay, so there we have the quick motion of the eyeballs moving. You know, again, what moves quick and what moves slow. And maybe after the horrific pizza stealing rat has been witnessed, maybe we can actually shrink the iris and pupil. Usually it's only the pupil that shrinks and the iris stays the same, but let's see what happens. Does it work? Is that shock? I think it is. And the eyebrows would raise up too. Let's just go with the mouth. We'll change the mouth, we'll change the face. The eyebrows would raise, the nose, you know, the nostril would dilate. Okay, so let's just change the mouth. Let's think about timing. We see the thing. I think that the grimace is going to happen really fast. We see the thing. I think it's going to happen fast, but not. It's going to happen when it's going to start when the eyeballs hit their target. Let's convert to keyframe, and then it's going to take how many frames? No, maybe it's not a fast movement. I'm trying it myself with my own mouth to see what it feels like. Insert keyframe. So I'll have it happen between frame like 9 and frame whatever. And this is just getting a sense of what works. Whoops, I'm not even doing this to the right object. Great. Okay, so I'm doing this to the head. Well, actually that's appropriate because I think that the head will change shape along with the mouth. Where's the mouth? Is this the mouth? Okay, here's the mouth. This is what happens if you don't name your layers appropriately. So here we have frame 10. Convert to keyframe. Frame, whatever that is, 18, 17. Convert to keyframe. It says at the bottom, where does it say what frame I'm on? That's not handy. There it is, frame 18. Okay, it does say, as it should. So I have the mouth holding its position, like kind of a hold frame up until 10, and then by 18, we're gonna widen quite a bit. And it's not going to be so up, it's going to be nearly closed, but the bottom lip is going to go up to meet the top. You see this expression, it's classic. Classic, unhappy. Eek. Maybe it remains a little more open. The tongue could even kind of peek out there if you want to. And now we're going to do the same thing we did last time. Actually, I already have a keyframe for the head in that position, so I'm just going to distend. I'm going to use the subselection tool, or don't want that, or even the pen tool to do a little more careful adjustment. With the pen tool, if I have things selected, I can just add a little point. It won't let me add another point, and I might have to like click off the pen tool. It's going to want to keep connecting the dots for me. But I think I just added 2 points to the shape, and so now I can kind of move them independently. I can find a slightly better or more nuanced shape for this head. That looks a little strange. And you can always go back and adjust. So let's see if this broke in any way. So that looks pretty good, actually. I'm happy with that. Ooh.